What's the first line? Should we do it again? Do it again. Okay. Hello.
Hi.
Oops. Now, Peter, you are the founding member of the Party for Animal and Plant Life Alliance. Why did you start the party?
Well, this is a good question, actually. One I'm asked quite.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I really do honestly believe that a restoration of woodland, plants and animals, I say we destroy the houses, we destroy these hideous electricity pylons that stand before me and you.
But in that case, Peter, the question remains, why did you decide to make party headquarters under this pylon? Was it an ironic symbol?
Well, I guess I guess you could say it was an ironic symbol in some respect, but it's also to rebel against what you're not supposed to do. For example, there are signs, you can't see them, but there are signs saying danger of death, do not hang about by this particular electricity pylon.
I've long been fed up with being told I can't put both my hands on a high voltage cable.
That's exactly my point, yes.
I mean, a sparrow or a hawk or an owl is free to land on the cable as much as he or she wishes.
Absolutely, and this is the problem. In society, we're told too much what we can't do. Why can't we be free to do as we please? You wouldn't say, oh, hey, sparrow, stop sitting on that electricity line, you know?
Wouldn't understand you.
Well,
He doesn't speak English, Peter.
Well, if it doesn't speak English, what does it speak? I mean, they communicate with one another, don't they? Why can we not learn that language ourselves?
And that's the thing. These immigrants, these hibernating birds. No, what is it they do? Migrating birds. They come here. They don't learn the language. They sit on our electricity cables, which we're not allowed to do.
Well, of course, this is my next point. I do believe there should be a referendum.
Peter, you've long campaigned for a referendum, but do the swallows get a vote in the referendum?
Well, this is the thing, that the referendum is within the bird community.
Every bird gets a vote.
Most birds get a vote.
I am sorry. I'm in an outrageously uncomfortable position. Party headquarters is extremely uncomfortable place. And Peter, you believe in equality of all species to the extent that you've actually fallen in love with a rather unusual species, haven't you?
Oh, well, yes. I mean, you can't fight what your heart wants, I suppose. But I did fall in love at first sight. I mean, I apologise for the cliche, but that's what it was. There's no other way I could describe it.
You've married a fucking tree, mate.
I'd prefer if you didn't use that word.
Sorry, which word? Fucking or tree? Or you've or married?
Well, I prefer not to refer to her as a tree.
Would you like to introduce us to your wife?
Yes, I'd love to introduce you. Yes.
Fantastic. Now, this is the love of your life, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yes. Yes, I don't even know where to begin, really. Well,
she's very beautiful.
Yeah, she's made me a very happy man, yeah.
She's what, 100 times your weight?
Yeah, about that, roughly, yeah.
Is love-making difficult?
Well, it can be. I mean, we're still trying to figure that part out, actually.
Sure, I can imagine that being a difficulty. Tell me, Peter, where did you first meet?
Well, here, actually.
Right here? Oh, wow. Yeah. That's fantastic. It's a beautiful spot.
Lovely, yes. I mean, I actually proposed to her right here as well.
Wow.
She said yes, by the way.
Do you think she has a friend for me?
She has got a few friends, actually. There is one, actually. She recently had her heart broken, not by someone like me, but by another tree.
That would be fantastic. Where is she?
She's right here, actually.
This one here? She is. May I kiss you? She's very coarse. Where exactly is the heart?
Well, again, that's something I can show you. With trees, the most thing you need to remember about trees is if you have to sort of feel the coarseness here, and then when you feel the coarseness, that means you then move your hand up just a little bit, not too much, and now can you still start to feel it's a bit softer there?
Ooh, yeah.
Now that's the heart.
I can feel it beating.
Yeah, and that differs with every tree.
Well, you learn something new every day. Peter, this is your very favourite place in the whole world.
That's right, not just the whole world.
The whole universe.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
It's absolutely fine. I just feel so at peace here, like nothing else matters.
Is it true that you will often come here, reenact the behaviour of a bumblebee, fly around, stick your tongue in the bluebell flower, get some nectar out, and generally buzz around?
Yeah, well, yes, it is, yes. I mean, it really is nothing quite like the taste of nectar from a bluebell. When you're buzzing around, you don't even need to care what anyone else is thinking because there's no one here. You can just be who you want to be or what you want to be. In my case, a bumblebee, buzzing away like there's nothing else. Nothing else.
When the bluebells eventually die and the blueness fades, you will frequently sob for weeks.
Yeah, weeks, months, years. Sometimes it takes years for these bluebells to grow back.
You take all your clothes off and sort of slide around in the mud, sobbing and praying and screaming, wailing.
Sometimes I just find that's the only way that I can get past it. And it's sort of like a sacrifice to the gods above. If I do that, then the bluebells, when they grow again, they tend to be richer and more in the blue colour, sort of steering away from purple, because nobody likes purple. It's all about blue.
And is it true that your tree wife was very upset that you almost had an affair with a bumblebee?
Well, it's not my proudest moment. I was tempted.
You were walking through the rape field and a bumblebee landed on your top lip and you believe it was French kissing you.
Yes, I mean, it was painful in a way because it stung me. But I like to believe that sting was actually its way of showing some affection for me. I mean, I would know. I've lived in these parts for such a long time now. I understand how the things here work. I understand how the buzzing arises from the bumblebees.
And when the sting was left in your top lip, it pulled out the insides of the bee and the bee subsequently died.
Yeah, that happened, yeah.
But you said to the tree that it didn't mean anything.
It didn't mean anything, and it still doesn't mean anything. Sometimes we argue and it comes up. I have to admit, it does come back up.
But every year you place some bluebells out of the grave of the bee.
Well, the bee did die for me. I mean, that's the fact of the matter, and that's something I'll never forget.
Would you go so far as to say the bee died for all our sins?
I think the bee kind of did represent the second coming of Jesus Christ. That's what I like to think. It died for us so that we could be here today, and that's why I strongly believe that we need to destroy all the buildings and turn it into wildlife, because that bee did not die for nothing. That bee died for us to replenish our sins, to become vindicated, and we can't do that if we're going to continue bathing in technology.
Do you think that all the species of the wilderness are Christians?
I think most species are Christian, to be honest. It's not just humans that are Christians. I've seen it in birds, I've seen it in bluebells, I've seen it in rape plants, I've seen it in my wife, the tree. I think, yeah, that's what I believe.
Thank you. Can you tell us something about where we are now?
I can, yes. Well, this is actually one of the most holy places within this particular area. This is where the trees come to sort of announce their sins. This is where they come to be cleared from their sins as well. It's like one of those boxes in a Catholic church, you know, they come here to... Yeah.
And I think this might be an appropriate place for you to give your final speech to the voting public about why they should vote for the Plant and Animal Alliance Party.
We really do believe that life comes not from, like I've said so many times, technology, concrete, whatever you want to call it. Life comes from nature. And this, is it not nature? This is nature. This is nature at its finest. And if you want the world to be a better place, to be like this, you need to vote for my party. Because
What do you say to those people that say you're a raving madman who has left his home to live in the woods and nobody should listen to you? You're a fruitcake, you've married a tree, you're buzzing around like a bee, you're coming to this bizarre bit of the woods saying it's the most holy place for trees. I mean, it's complete nonsense, isn't it?
well, to some maybe. And do you know what?
To all. To some. I mean, to everyone apart from you, Peter. And me. Even the pheasants are shouting at you.
It's not true. I pity the people that don't make sense of what I do or what I say or who I am or that I married a tree. I pity them, you know. I don't think that they understand. They've never understood life. They have just become born and raised in this capitalist society, conforming to their fishbowl lives.
In all probability, you're going to lose your deposit. You may get a handful of votes. At the last election, I think you got 2 votes. That was me and you. You got 2 votes, didn't you? And that was just me and you. And I mean, we may have persuaded 1 or 2 friends, but I think they might be taking the piss.
I'm really holding out for at least a third vote. The money isn't an issue. Money means nothing to me.
But really, you've got no chance until the animals are given a vote, and the plants preferably.
Well, this is what I'm working on at the moment. If you vote for me, I'll make sure that every living thing in this planet gets a vote.
You still haven't answered how the tree or the squirrel or the bluebell places a vote.
Because if you know them like I do, and trust me, I know them well.
So you're going to be the conduit. But how do we know that you won't just say they're all voting for your party when in reality they're conservatives?
Because I'm a man of the environment. And as you probably know, men of the environment never lie. We are full of honesty.
Thank you.